My first time ever being in jail was 2004, 2005. I was like 18. I think I have like 13 intakes in the Warren County Jail. First couple times, it was all drinking related, like stuff that I did, drinking, fighting, all that stuff. But then when I started getting into heroin and stuff like that, it was more like the toughest part was like always that first week. You know what I mean? Getting through the detox. I've never detoxed in any place but jail. I've always done well in structure. It came natural to be able to go into a spot and be like, and like, this is when you're waking up, this is when you're eating, you know what I mean? And like kind of like do that for myself as well. As soon as I got to a unit, I would start like making my, like falling into my routine, and it was always, you know, wake up, get breakfast, go back to sleep, wake up, clean my cell, get lunch, play cards or dominoes, and then like I never spent any time in front of the TV really, and then it was like basketball, working out, like, and it was always like this after this after this after this, like, you know what I mean? And then, or like spend time reading, like there was always a time for reading in there. I have these things where I call them jail dreams, where it's like, oh, like, and everybody has them, like in there, like, oh, I'm gonna do so many things different. You get really time to like, to really reflect on what you're doing wrong or whatever. And then, but once you're outside those doors, all that stuff goes away, because you're like right back into what you were. And people are like, oh, like you're not excited to be getting out. It's like, well, I mean, I'm kind of happy not to be here, you know, to be leaving here, but like, what does it hold for me? Because like, everything that comes with like living in the streets, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to deal with that inside jail. I never really got to communicate with people on the outside, or like set things up or do whatever. Like maybe do some like more programming in there, or like, you know what I mean? Or like actually like have things set up so when like, it wasn't just like a guesswork when I walked out, but like, all right, like we don't just have a Baywood appointment for you, like this is where you're gonna go, like this is like the same structure I had in there, right? So it's like this is what's gonna happen every morning. All right, Pat, when you walk out, like, and like not them set up, like me like working with somebody where it's just like, all right, so this is what we got set up for you, right? So like when you walk out, like as soon as you walk out, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. Like these are the steps that we have set up for you. I know what not to do, right? Like I made a lot of wrong decisions in my life, right? Like, you know, like a lot of wrong decisions in my life. So I know what decisions not to make, but I always don't know the best decision moving forward. Mrs. Cody, who's a corrections officer at Warren County. And this is like a pivotal like thing in my recovery. So she's telling me a story about this lady that was always in and out of jail. She was a drug addict, and she got to see her mother would always bring her son to see her. So she got to watch this little boy grow up in the visiting rooms. And then the little boy started coming to jail. And then she got a call from the mother and like was like, you know, seeing if the kid was there. And she's like, you know, like I'm sober now, like I'm doing great, but like it's too late for my son. Like the damage is already done. And I know why Mrs. Cody told me that story. I went to rehab one other time, and I was talking to my counselor, and she's like, why are you getting sober? I was like, for my son. And he's like, that's a lot of weight to put on a 6-year-old. My son is the prize, like, you know, I mean, the spoils of war, right? Like, my son is what I get for doing well, you know what I mean? Going to the 6-month program, I was safe to actually put into practice the things that like I needed to be able to like succeed in sobriety, and then coming here, like being allowed to come here again and work the program is just knowing that like, you know, I'm safe, right? Like I have people that care about me. You know, when I was in rehab, they were always talking about support structure. Like you need a support structure, you need a support structure. It's like no matter what I need to move forward, like the mission in some way will help me, right? Comes and gets me from work to bring me to probation, comes and gets me to go to, like gives me a ride to like groups at Baywood every week. Anytime I ask Maureen or somebody for something, like they're like more than willing to help. As long as like I'm moving forward, more than willing to support my like, you know, I mean, me going that way.
And at this point in your life, how long have you been sober now?
13 months. Oh, well, 13 months in, what's today, the 6th?
Yep.
So 5 days, 13 months and 5 days.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. I actually just went and spent a ton of money on my kid's birthday Friday, and like got like my family. I don't have any family up here, so it was like all his family and all of them, and like you know, it was a great feeling. Him like being like, oh, that was the best birthday ever, and then like her father, who's been kind of like mean to me in the past, kind of being like, rightfully so. Like I'm not saying like, but he on my way out, he was like, yo, like keep up the good work. It was a fun night tonight. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's a big thing. Yeah. You know, one thing it was definitely showing me that that the work I'm putting in is working. You know.